Hey guys, Chris Martinez. I'd like for you to take this time and think about something that maybe bothers you, maybe something that sits against your beliefs and everything that you carry yourself with. Think about somebody who may go against that. Think about somebody who may implement any type of lifestyle or desire that goes against your wishes and your path. We all have a different path and we all have a different way of approaching what we do in our lives. Which is why it's so quick, it's so easy to just say, you know what? They're wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong. Look, what you do is wrong. What you do is wrong. What you do is wrong. So think about somebody who might be wrong. And I bet you already know. But before you go ahead and express that, think about somebody other than somebody else, and that somebody is you. See, we always think about ourselves, but do you think about yourself as far as how you impact others negatively, how you impact situations negatively? That while you may feel and be in full comprehension of your actions, there's no acknowledgement of wrong or right. So what is wrong and what is right? Clearly, we can see that there's always two sides to a story, but in reality, there's three, because it's your story, their story, and the truth. The truth serves as the guideline of which we base our morals, our structure, and it's the way we guide our lives to what we all ultimately desire, which is happiness and freedom and the ability to pretty much do what we want to do, you know. But doing what you want to do can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. It's a matter of you being able to understand the difference between right and wrong, and secondly, being aware of the consequence that will derive from the action you are going to take. Will the action be worse or better than the situation that will bring about the reaction? It's easy to snap and think about what me says right now. Me says, express everything. Let it all out right now. You've been hurt. You've been angry. You have been used. Let it out. It doesn't matter if you crush the other person in the process because you have been hurt. Let it out. Let it out. And so, in the present time now, we are allowing ourselves to forget about the consequence and think only about the initial release of the frustration, the anger, the letdown, the disappointment. Me cannot acknowledge what it brings other than now, expressing now. And if you've seen the other videos, you have realized that everything that is good takes time. Everything that you find yourself currently trying to rearrange, you're trying to change it, you've noticed that it's taken years, if not a lifetime, to get and develop the way you think now. So how would you expect yourself to want the desire to change but expect it immediately? It's failing to recognize and understand that you're wrong and it's time to change that. It's time to move on. But you can't move on if me is consistently wanting to only express what me wants to see. You think about us as human beings, and our mind protects us by instilling fear, by providing a release of chemicals that show us, that make us understand that we're in danger, that we could possibly face death. And so we are consistently always looking out for ourselves. And it's a good thing. It keeps us alive. But just like with everything, there is two sides, positive and negative. You can go about taking these feelings and transforming them into your own reality, in that you will always know that what you feel and what you say is right. Imagine two people discussing the height of a fence. One says that it's 13 feet, the other says that it's 10. And they can stand out there all day arguing, and maybe even go at it physically, verbally, in every way you can think of. But because there is a guideline from which we base our understandings and recognize it as the truth. And in the process of these two individuals arguing, somebody else comes and provides a measuring stick. This measuring stick does not lie. The measuring stick does not favor personal gratitude, personal satisfaction. It only knows what the truth is. And reaching a level where you understand what the truth is a lifetime process. I'm not saying or encouraging anyone to think that they're perfect, because we're not. We will always make mistakes. We will always make certain reactions. We will always have certain reactions. We will always create scenarios that later on we say, man, that was dumb. But what they're failing to realize is the fact that you can acknowledge that already says something good. Because being able to acknowledge it means that now you have the power to stop that. You have the power to change that. But refusing to want to get out of your personal expression, your personal satisfaction and gratitude of showing somebody else how much you've been hurt, is preventing you from seeing the bigger picture, from understanding that life produces reactions, it produces scenarios that will most definitely bring out maybe even a part of you that you were unaware of, that you were not even wanting to be a part of. But when you acknowledge this, you can say, today is the day that I'm going to put this behind. And I'm going to put it behind because I know that I am greater than this. I know that what the situation has brought upon cannot compare even a small amount to the greatness that will come out of my determination, my willingness, and my choice to set aside my selfish desires, my selfish intent on wanting to only focus on how I've been hurt, how I've been attacked, how I've been not acknowledged, and so forth. Everything is a result of a choice that we make. Now, mistakes will always happen. And so what I'm trying to get at is, don't beat yourself up for something that happened. Don't beat yourself up for something that somebody did. Be the one to make the change. Be the one to make the difference. Me says, why should I do it if you don't do it? Me says, you did something, now you got to do it to make it go away. Me says, I don't care. Me. Being an adult is recognizing that there are things we will have to do that doesn't necessarily fit within our area of comfortability, but it's something that has to be done. Life demands you to produce a living. It demands you to produce money, and that you properly balance it in a way that won't keep you in a world of stress, in a world of absolute negativity. And so you know that you have to work. You know that you have to produce some sort of living, whether it's establishing your own business or working for somebody else. You have to do it. So how about anybody who refuses to do what life expects and demands of you? If you don't do what you were brought here to do, you will be suffering the consequences of not taking the initiative, of not doing what you know you have to do. Everybody else has to do it. What makes you so special? Self-entitlement, the belief and the desire to always be right and to receive the best and most respectful, just you expect just good overall. Man, this is something that will keep you from being able to recognize and say, okay, hold on. I know that they're wrong. I know that I'm wrong. But I know that this situation has nothing to do or cannot even compare to the greatness that can come about this. So I know that I will have to, number one, acknowledge what I have done and discuss, perhaps now that you have acknowledged it, maybe you have a deeper understanding and a recognition of why you made the mistake that you made. Maybe you don't, and that's okay too. But it's saying, today and from here on, I will do what it takes to have a good, positive life. And it can take a lifetime, but through the process, you diminish and get rid of the little tiny issues that blow up into a gigantic, extremely depressing. That there is no recognition of self-will. If we talk about how the brain can do so many magnificent things, if we talk about how fear can do so many bad things to a person, both of these can be flip-flopped. The mind can do bad, the mind can do good. And so is the choice that you carry out with your life. Will you hide from the things that life demands of you? Will you create excuses that say it's okay for why you are not providing what everybody's doing? When you recognize that you don't deserve anything, that life doesn't owe you anything, you're able to acknowledge that you cannot control certain things. You cannot control what has already happened, but what you can control is right now and tomorrow. That is what you do have control of. And so we focus only on the things that we cannot grasp, the things that have already happened, and take that with us every day. So every day, imagine as life is a step. Every step we take, we're over on step 78, and we're still carrying the burden that we experienced on step 3. How have you progressed? How have you felt any better? And in the end, if somebody has hurt you, if somebody has done something that has created a gap in your life, it's important to recognize and realize that you can get yourself out of that. It doesn't matter if the action stems from somebody else. If you really desire your own happiness and want what's good for you in your life, you will put aside, take yourself out of me and place yourself in what life demands and what is true. What will really bring good out of this? You're experiencing something, as I mentioned, like a gap. You have to understand that if you imagine a hole, if the hole can't get any deeper, if you feel that you're at the bottom, recognize that you can only go up. Sometimes we only look at the bad and don't see that every situation carries the seed to a greater benefit. It's up to you how you initiate, how you plant that seed. How will you provide the nutrient to make it grow, even if you don't have the desire, the feeling, because you're so broken? But you know that if you plant that and you do it properly and you just put aside just for a little while the plant grows, when it does, you won't even want to think about what held you back for so long. Positivity and negativity. It's a very complex, very deep subject. And we're all negative and we're all positive. But it's having that desire to consistently stay on track, to be able to say, okay, I caught myself right now, I'm being negative. I have to be positive. I have to be positive. It's really hard to do that. It really is. But you just gotta do it.